to India to go visit henna artists in India, throughout India, and henna plantations, and to see the plant and to kind of see where it's processed. And I was amazed. I went to Mumbai. And traveled there for about 4 days, and I ended up meeting like 4 or 5 different henna artists. What was surprising was that most of them were boys, and they were young boys, probably from the ages of, I would say, 12 to 17, doing henna on the streets. I would assume that I would see women doing henna, but in the market area it was mostly men. So that was kind of interesting, and they were teaching other young boys how to do henna on cardboard and doing little practice sheets of them. I flew to Jaipur in the desert, and in Rajasthan is where most of the henna plantations are. And there's a place called Sojat City, and that's where like 4 or 5 of the biggest manufacturers of henna are, which was about 5 hours south from where I was staying. And so I went to an office where one of the women had a farm that was her father's farm, and that they grew all sorts of plants, and one of them was henna. And I bought about 10 kilos of henna from her, and then I got to go see a plant, a henna plant. It's like a hydrangea bush. It's like a woody barked tree. When I was traveling to India, there's a woman that's pretty well known on the internet, Asha Savla, and I tried to go see her in Mumbai. You know, it's easier to think, you know, in America that you can just go over and do these things, kind of like how you can do things in America, but it just doesn't work that way. So even making a simple phone call was very difficult. This woman is so backed up. She teaches courses, and she has, you know, about 10 or 12 books that she's had printed about henna, and they're all really beautiful books, all about henna patterns specifically done for wedding ceremonies. And any one of these can take anywhere from, you know, 3 hours to 4 hours, depending on what someone's getting done. And the woman that I saw knows this woman very well, and she has her books, and she basically does her patterns as well with her henna clients when she does wedding work. So she went to her shop and she got the books for me, but I couldn't get an appointment with her. When I was visiting the henna artist at her house, you know, she lived in a 2-room house, and it was a family of 5. And so her son and her daughter were there with us the whole time, and her grandmother and her husband actually ended up being the seamstress that was actually making our saris. It was just all interwoven. It was a small community. Oh, wow. We showed up at her door, and he had my sari in his hand, and he was sewing it, and I was like, what? How did that happen? Then she did these pieces for me here, where she drew on paper different patterns for jewelry that a woman might do for weddings, and basically they find jewels, and they're fabric jewels, like something that we would use like in making clothing. On saris or on, you know, to embellish clothes. And what they do, instead of having jewelry, they just wear jewelry out for one night, special night. And so they have this thing called jardozi, where they use these glue glitters, and they make these really ornate designs like henna patterns. And so she made these for me. And the nice thing is that you can see how she added color in different ways, and she said that, you know, you match the henna, the colors of the glitter, to like the clothing that they're wearing, so it all matches, and they're all very into that. And they love the sparkles, they love the gems, and you can even buy little packets of these glitter henna patterns over there. It's not hand done, but it's like a sticker. Oh, it's really popular over there too. But these patterns are nice because I can do them in this jardozi pattern, but I can also do them in henna. Henna, you have to remember, it's very cheap for them in the marketplace to buy this, and some women, they can't even afford jewelry. So this is how they decorate their bodies and ornately, so they feel good about themselves and they feel beautiful. They harvest like every 3 months, and the best henna crop is right after the monsoon. So, and you can imagine, because the earth is just barren and there's no water. So once the monsoon hits, that crop is the richest in color and the most vibrant, because it has really good irrigation. the henna powder that I bought came in different sizes, and this one, the total amount that I bought was 500 rupees, and in the equivalence of American dollars, it's about $10. I had to get a sheet, a biochemical sheet, a printout of the scientific elements of the plant, because, you know, it's very strict nowadays, so I wanted to make sure that I had that and that they weren't going to confiscate it on the internet, so you can't buy henna like that. So you have to buy it directly from the wholesaler, and then it breaks down into the amounts and the kilos of henna that you're buying. They were telling me that a lot of people in China and a lot of people in Mexico buy henna by the ton because they use it in all their beauty products, like their hair products or skin products, because henna is really good as a conditioner, and you know they add it to a lot of their beauty products. I took some of the leaves off of the plant. These are the leaves that they use, that they grind up to make the henna powder. They just use the leaves. They don't use the flower or the seeds or the bark. When they make hair henna to dye the hair, they use the whole plant. So that's why it's really lumpy and really clumpy when you do your hair. But the fine powder that's mixed right here is just made purely from the leaves, and it's triple sifted, so it's really fine, so there's no little particles of plant in it. These are the pods and the seeds of the henna plant. And in the seeds there, I'm going to break open the pods and try to grow henna. I don't know how successful I'll be because even one of my buyers out in California, who lives in a really warm climate, was not successful growing henna out in California. This is the fresh henna powder. It didn't come in this really pretty package, but this is the same package from the same company that I bought in Jaipur. So that's from that company. These are some of the companies that you can buy in international markets in the U.S. Some are better than others. I also have these, so when I teach children workshops at schools, I can show them the different forms that they may find henna, like in the stores or in craft stores and stuff like that. So this is actually a pre-made tube of henna, and I really stay away from any of these because, one, you don't know what's in it, and you don't know how long it's been sitting on the shelf. But you know, they're pretty boxes anyway, and I like to show everybody how it comes. This is another company that I use, Jamila Henna. It's very good. The quality of the henna is really well known, and a lot of henna artists use this henna. And this is Belarus henna. It's a lower grade henna. It's not as higher quality. And you just want to make sure that these hennas haven't been opened and they haven't been exposed to light or air.